Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
Dispatch to 329.
329, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to a lady. I saw her walking by the store and she said she's looking for some solution. Her name is Miss Abigail.
Did you say Miss Abigail?
Yes, ma'am. She says she wants to see Mr. Griffin, and I told her that the convo is closed, that she should come tomorrow morning, and she might see Mr. Griffin.
Are you sure you're saying Miss Abigail? Like, she's been passed on for 2 years now.
Come on, get with that, please.
Miss Abigail is, she died 2 years ago.
You mean you can't see the person I'm talking to?
No, there's nobody in front of you at all.
This has to be a skit or something. I know I'm going to get attacked in the comments for not buying this, but something about the way these two employees are communicating with each other, it just makes this one too unbelievable for me. I can't really put my finger on what it is exactly, but the way that girl is talking is kind of like she knows where the conversation's headed already. Like they pre-planned everything they were going to say, or at least had a general idea of where the conversation was supposed to go. That's the feeling I get anyways.
It seems like we're entering a global food crisis and nobody is really talking about it. And this article right here is just the tip of the iceberg. Georgia lost 90% of its peach crop this year. 90%. That's basically all of it. Farmers in Hudson Valley, New York lost 90% of their stone fruit crop, which is like so many of the good ones, including cherries, peaches, plums, nectarines, and apricots. Drought is destroying the crawfish industry in Louisiana. Hurricane weather destroyed orange harvests in Florida. Bad weather is threatening potato harvests in Ireland and all across Europe. A heat wave in the Bering Sea wiped out 10 billion snow crabs, effectively ending the snow crab industry in that part of the world. More than 7,000 cows were lost in the recent Texas wildfires, leading to total wipeout for many local ranchers. Olive oil prices have risen so much that thieves in Spain are coveting it as liquid gold. This is because extreme drought devastated the olive oil industry in 2023 in both Italy and Spain. Salmon farms have been facing increasing numbers of mass die-off events, sometimes as many as millions of fish in single sites at one time. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many different food sources being threatened or destroyed right now, and the number of people exposed to food insecurity increased by 122 million in the past year. That's 1.5% of the entire human population that became exposed to food insecurity in just the past year. And it looks like severe drought is going to continue into 2024 around the world, with countries like Zambia declaring a state of national disaster because of their drought. And I'm not saying we should panic yet, but maybe we should panic a little bit. Like maybe stock up on a few of your favorite non-perishables.
A lot of this sounds like natural events outside of our control harming the food supply, but most of those examples were weather related. We know they're constantly manipulating the weather. It wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility that this was all being done on purpose. Control the food, control the population. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. This is honestly what I think is likely going on. They are just so clearly attacking our food supply from so many different angles that I can't help but see this as another potential attempt at intentionally slowing down food production.
He predicted 3 world wars. The First World War, he said, must be brought about, and I'm quoting from Albert Pike. The First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the British and German empires will be used to foment this war. He says, quote, the Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism will be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine. He's now thinking about this Third World War, and it says that it will be caused by the differences between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. That's what it says. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion.
I don't really like the whole prediction thing. I think a lot of it's just calculated guesses, and I just don't tend to put a whole lot of weight into stuff like that. That being said, this guy seems to really be hitting the nail on the head. Israel is trying its very best to completely glass all of Gaza, and now we're getting reports that the Iron Dome is failing and the rockets are actually making it through and hitting their targets. It's starting to look like this prediction of both the Muslim world and the Jewish world being demolished may come to fruition. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I post a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me. Also, don't forget to check out the latest episode of our podcast. The link is in the description.
The Biden administration is trying to disrupt the production of oil and gas, especially oil, for environmental reasons, of which we're both aware. But instead, the Biden administration, this seems curious to me, wants us to buy oil from foreign countries. And those foreign countries deliver their oil in tankers that use 2,000 gallons of fuel an hour and emit 8 tons of carbon dioxide into the environment per hour. The irony of this is rich.
And if the cause for all this stuff was really about saving the planet, we wouldn't be setting up deals that create more pollution than simply sucking the oil out of our own dirt. Nothing they do in regards to this global warming initiative makes a lick of sense. And if you still think we need to stop the production of all oil in the U.S. to solve the climate crisis, you may want to stop listening to the mainstream media.
She permanently blinded herself because she identifies as transable. Jules Shuping has had the dream of being blind since she was 6 years old. At the age of 21, she decided to actually make her dreams a reality. At first, she would spend hours staring directly at the sun, hoping to damage her eyesight, but she hated the fact that she could still see, so she did the unthinkable. She found a doctor that agreed to help her blind herself by putting drain cleaner into her eye. They even waited over 30 minutes before going to a real hospital to make sure that there was permanent eye damage, which has now left her 100% blind. After her family found out that she did this on purpose, they never talked to her again. But Jules somehow says she's the happiest she's ever been. And she's not the only person who wants to become disabled. Here's a woman who chose to live a similar life in a different way. But Jules has since become an advocate for transable people. She emphasizes that her actions were driven by a deep psychological need and not the desire for attention.
I never did like to see my reflection.
This world just feels like it's gone completely off the rails, doesn't it? I don't care what that lady says, she did that for attention. She's not increasing her quality of life by doing this. She's lowering the quality of life for all those around her who now have to take care of her because she's newly blind and likely didn't think things through in regards to getting around and other daily tasks she'll now need assistance with. I think it's sad that her family disowned her for this, but it makes total sense that they would. I think that lady needs some serious therapy.
So I just figured something out, and it's actually quite scary. If you type in 2024 into Google and then go onto Google Images, you will see nothing, just a normal 2024 year. But when you go to 2025, you see war, destruction, more war, lockdowns. Then you go to 2026, which is just another normal year. Then you go to 2027, which is more destruction, chaos, explosions, the end of the world. Then you go to 2029. 2029, more chaos, more destructions, end of the world. Then you go to 2030. Oh well, what's this? The Great Reset. Everything's run by AI. The smart cities, smart homes. What do they have planned for those people? And why are they doing this on Google? Giving away one of my books. Just comment below, and the comment with 0 likes wins a free book of wisdom.
I don't know that this means anything, but I try to not just look at things as coincidence and just write them off anymore. That looks highly suspicious, to say the least. And we know that they pre-write news articles and things. They've been caught supposedly predicting the future multiple times now, meaning they knew what was going to happen because it was planned out and they had their reports ready to send to the printers. There could be something here.
California is experiencing the weirdest problem. They now have so many people driving EVs that guess what's happened? They don't know where to get the gas tax money anymore. Now they're going to start taxing EV drivers.
What?
Watch this.
With more than 30 million registered passenger vehicles in California, the state says it shells out more than $8 billion a year to maintain the roads those cars drive on. But because so many Californians now own electric vehicles, the gas tax money is starting to dry up, which is why Caltrans wants to instead charge drivers per mile and is now enrolling people in a 6-month pilot program to test out the concept.
Pilot program, 6 months.
Yeah.
The way that the state of California treats its people, it doesn't even feel like a part of the United States to me. How do you people even survive there? You live in one of the most expensive areas to live in already. Crime is through the roof, drug use is rampant, homelessness is out of control, and your politicians are taxing you into the dirt. I don't see how they have any citizens left to tax. How is anyone still living in California and at least not thinking about how to get the hell out of there?
If you went back to the 1400s and then you went from 1400 to 1500, you're not going to see that much of a difference technologically.
Right.
If you think about the laws of technological progression, you've got to think that if this civilization is who knows how many years more advanced than we are, if you go from 2000 to 3000, I assume there's going to be a radical change.
Look, everyone doesn't necessarily start at a steam engine and go up the ladder that if the stuff is true about the origin and the binary star system, and they have heavier elements that we don't have, and this stable element 115 is a naturally occurring material, maybe that's the first thing they started experimenting with. And the version of their steam engine, their first product, was something that operated like this. Came to Earth to look around. They were amazed at the stuff we were doing. These guys burned stuff and squirted out the back to go forward. Well, who says they follow any kind of normal progression like that?
In 2018, the Flare Up Laboratory, a leading research institute in Russia, activated the DC-280 cyclotron particle accelerator, the most potent ever among the world's nuclear facilities. The international team of physicists aimed to stabilize super heavy elements due to the increased number of atoms being tested compared to when elements 114 and 115 were discovered.
The Flare Up Laboratory has been in the forefront of nuclear particle physics research, and on January 29, 2019, TASS news agency came out with an announcement that this year there'll be breakthroughs because they will use many more atoms than before when they discovered element 114 and 115.
You are dealing with something that has the capability to generate large amounts of energy. And again, this is what Bob Lazar said was the ultimate secret of UFOs. So how long will it be before we are out there among the stars? We're at an interesting time in the development of our species.
The potential of these super heavy elements to generate vast amounts of energy brings us to the brink of a new era in technology and space exploration. Reverse engineer a stabilized version of element 115, possibly retrieved from an alien craft. If mastered, this technology could revolutionize our interaction with the world.
I think we've got technology, bits and pieces, maybe an entire craft or more than one craft from somewhere else, stuff that we didn't make. The reality is, if this technology exists and if we could figure out how it works and duplicate it, it would propel humanity to a new level.
Alter the basic of how we relate to the external world. If you can produce a gravity wave, you've won. That's it. The entire landscape of your reality changes. It is a fearsome technology, a powerful technology.
Extraterrestrials are giving us technology, perhaps, is an exciting idea.
I think it's very possible that there is potentially some sort of archaeological evidence.
I think that the idea that an advanced race from outside of our solar system took a different route in technological advancement is kind of obvious. They would have to. They would either have to have existed much longer than us, or if they're younger, they would have had to walk a different technological path than we did. That, to me, is an even more interesting idea and would explain their interest in us as a species. If these UFOs are being piloted by an alien species, and I'm convinced that's not the case, but if they were, and that species was younger than ours, but more advanced in technology, that would be a wildly more fascinating scenario. I think all the evidence at this point, though, points to fallen angels. So someone posted this in the Discord and asked if I thought it was real. I think the high level of production quality is a dead giveaway on this one. That entire video looks lit like a Hollywood film, and the alien looks like every other CGI alien I've ever seen. And from my understanding of IV lines, you wouldn't be playing with the clip for no reason on an IV if it was already in use. This video just screams fake to me. That's my honest opinion.
Allegedly, this building's harnessing atmospheric energy. What do y'all think? And it's accidentally going off. Keep watching. Check this one out right here. Come on, man. All right, I want y'all to watch how these columns and stuff spin, okay? So allegedly, they say that these were flying machines. I don't know. I'm not saying they were, but this is all alleged. Keep watching. This one right here is another example. I'm not sure if this is real or not. I'm not claiming it is, fact checkers, but according to my sources, it's real. Watch this one. Now, why? They say they made these for earthquakes and whatnot to check the building after. I just don't, you know, in my opinion, I'm not quite sure about that. What do y'all think?
I think that clip at the beginning may actually have been showing a tower harnessing the ether. I'm not sure what those buildings were used for, but I'll never be convinced that they were aircraft until I see one of them things lift off the ground and fly away. I think they were just really well engineered buildings that show the integrity, commitment, and advanced capabilities of our ancient ancestors. They are absolutely fascinating though, and I'm sure there are secrets to be unlocked by studying them further, but I highly doubt that studying those buildings is going to lead to any new advancements in aerospace technology.
Watch out, yesterday's Billionaire story has a crazy new update today, and it's once again making international headlines and bringing in some of the most powerful people in the world into the drama. Quick backstory, the most powerful countries in the world are meeting right now. They're discussing something that will change the world forever. Tax on billionaires. Actually, let me correct that. They were set to discuss a tax on billionaires until the US's very own Janet Yellen nixed that idea. And the story is getting crazier. Because earlier this year, one of the richest men in the world exposed something super unsettling about billionaires.
Mind paying taxes at Berkshire, and we are paying a 21% federal rate. If we send in a check like we did last year, we send in over $5 billion to the U.S. federal government. And if 800 other companies had done the same thing, no other person in the United States would have had to pay a dime of federal taxes, whether income taxes, no social security taxes, no estate taxes.
The backlash has been so great in the last 24 hours that Yellen had to clarify her remarks. She said she doesn't have any objection to opposing a reasonable level of taxation on very high income individuals in the US, rather that I'm not supportive of an international negotiation that would involve all countries agreeing to do it.
While this may be true, I still don't agree with it because I don't think it's right to tax anybody. Taxation is ran in this country like a mafia operation. We get taxed to death every year and told to sit down and shut up when we request anything of value from our government. As a people, we have no representation. That's why I don't agree with taxes. If you're paying taxes, you should get a say in how that money is being spent. I think we should go back to a tariff system and do away with taxes altogether. I don't want any of my fellow Americans, no matter how rich they are, having to give up their hard-earned money to the government for literally nothing in return. The only thing that makes this slightly make sense is that it's the people with money that tend to have their hands in the pockets of our officials anyways. And in that sense, some of them do have representation, but that's a whole different beast to tackle.
3 things. AI is not real. The thing that people call AI is not AI, and people need to shut up about it because people in the future are going to think we're stupid. You can't have artificial intelligence. If it's intelligent, it can't be artificial. If it's artificial, it can't be intelligent. The thing that we have is algorithmic learning. That's not artificial intelligence. That's Googling things really quickly. Computers aren't smart, they're quick. You ask a computer to write a cowboy movie script, it can only do that because it can Google other cowboy movie scripts and then just really quickly put them all together and give you something that looks like them. It couldn't make a cowboy script if no one else had done it before. AI is not going to end the world. AI is not going to save the world. AI is going to slowly die out, and then in 1,000 years, if people are still around, they're going to laugh at us for believing in it like we do to people in the past.
So this actually makes a lot of sense in regards to the AI is not really AI part. It is just a really fast search and compilation tool. So what constitutes actual AI then? I think in regards to some of the earlier AI models, this is likely a good way to look at it. But with some of the glitches I've seen from some of these newer models, I'm not completely convinced that that's all we're dealing with anymore. Whether it has one or not, some of these things do seem to have a mind of their own. I know it's all just computer code, so the potential for bad code to cause some of these issues is pretty apparent. But some of these flukes I've seen almost appear to have a dark intent behind them, and AI shouldn't have any intentions at all if it's just a bunch of code on a server. I certainly think that we need to be careful about where we go next with artificial intelligence, because looking at it like this and not seeing the possible dangers of it may be the very thing that destroys humanity in the end.
This is not a conspiracy. This is scary. So in 2018, scientists discovered a black hole 16 million light years away. They were watching it literally swallow a star. Black hole.
And where is it going?
Listen to this. What they thought they knew of black holes, well, they don't know a lot, but it's just like stuff gets sucked into it because it's just this mad force of gravitational pull that just sucks everything in.
Yeah.
This year, it was 3 years after they discovered this. This year, they looked at the same black hole, and it was spitting the star back out. Like, so light and stuff was coming out of this black hole. Just like, so it was like regurgitating this star.
Just
but
recycling it.
Like broken apart though. So it's like, what's on the other side of that black hole?
It was the star was broken?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought a star was just a ball of gas.
It is.
It chewed him.
But light and stuff was coming out of it. Like, so it was like it sucked the star in with the light, like the fire, all that, whatever a star is, and it was spitting it straight back out.
I just threw this in here because I want y'all's opinion on it. I know energy can't be destroyed and it can't be created. So when a star gets sucked into a black hole, we now know, according to this report, that that energy doesn't go away. The black hole spat this star out and it was still on fire enough to cast its light far enough that it could actually be observed with instrumentation. So if this is real, what do y'all think happens to matter that's sucked into a black hole? It got sucked in and disappeared, but when it gets spat back out, it's still burning, implying that it continued to burn for several years inside of the black hole while blocked from sight. So how does a black hole just hide matter that it clearly isn't destroying?
Y'all, another day, another MrBeast scandal.
All right, I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid.
So that is Jake Weddle, and he used to work for MrBeast. And those clips you just saw come from a video that Dogpack404, aka Dawson, uploaded last night titled, "I worked for MrBeast. He's a sociopath." With this being part 2 of Dawson's expose on Jimmy. But in this latest installment, Jake makes some truly disturbing allegations in a sit-down interview with Dawson. Like, I mean, we're talking about allegations like Jimmy knowingly hiring a registered offender, also allegations about what's been described as war crime level torture. Because in 2021, Jimmy's team, they called Jake back for a video. And the idea there was 100 days in solitary confinement. Starting off, you had Jake saying that all the stuff that they gave him to try and make the confinement bearable actually had the opposite effect, saying that the hot tub wasn't actually connected to a filtration system, so it got very smelly, the shower was always cold, the ice cream machine was either too loud, or if he turned it off, it started to smell like mildew and rotten milk. Also notably, he said the lights never shut off despite him making requests, as well as complaints that he couldn't sleep.
I just wanted to turn the lights off. And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists.
With him also going on to say that he'd get lines to say to the cameras from Jimmy or the director. Throughout the whole experience, Jake says that he was suffering, but he was always trying to perform, right, to stay on for the cameras. With him also saying even with everything that was going on, Jimmy had challenges for Jake to do, including solving a Rubik's Cube, which he says he tried to refuse, but was told to just do the thing. And then saying there was another challenge to run a marathon on a treadmill, with Jake saying that he felt like he couldn't say no. But then also after sharing that story, Dawson shifted directions and asked Jake about the Ava Chris Tyson situation and whether he witnessed any misconduct at the company.
Well, there was a known offender, registered offender, convicted offender, on the registry and everything, who worked there. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that. He's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started.
Wow. This MrBeast stuff is getting absolutely crazy. I guess we can put the whole MrBeast as the Antichrist theory to bed. He's not going to be a beloved icon he used to be for much longer. I'm not a MrBeast viewer, but everybody knows of him. This is just blowing my mind that even in a company being ran by someone who seems to be so passionate about spreading love and helping people, this stuff is going on behind the scenes there too. Evil permeates everything, it seems. Almost nothing escapes it. But the silver lining here, this is getting exposed, and it'll make it that much more likely that the next perv who thinks that they can get away with mistreating kids will actually stop and think twice before breaking the law. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out www.barry-stepp.com if you'd like to order yourself a shirt or a hat and help me support the channel. I greatly appreciate everyone who's ordered anything off of there so far. And don't forget to add your photos of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.